already. It's 10 o'clock. Prepare yourselves. Buckle up. We're about to get some theme music going for Draw Dragon. And Liam's got to leave early today, you guys, so we'll excuse Liam early. Here it comes. Hi, everybody. My name is Gio Benedetti, and welcome to Draw Dragon, 10 a.m. Every weekday, we're drawing dragons. And today is a super awesome special day because my puppet friend, Alexis Fajardo, is here to help us welcome everybody to Draw Dragon. Hi, Lex. Are you out there? Maybe you are, but I can't hear you. Let me make sure that I didn't mute you. Now you're unmuted. Sorry about that. Are you there? Lex.
Hi, guys.
Oh, there he is.
Thanks for inviting me to Draw a Dragon. So excited.
Thanks for coming to Draw a Dragon, puppet version of Lex. It's really cool that you're here. Maybe we should go to our real life people and talk to each other now that my theme music is on repeat. Okay. Hey, good thing Darth Bob Ross didn't come and ruin everything, because that would be really bad. Let's get out of here. Okay, FaceTime cam. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining Draw a Dragon today. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday today. Thursday, May 14th, and I'm really stoked that you guys are here because I have a wonderful guest who is going to lead us in drawing a dragon today. And I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Alexis Fajardo, professional cartoonist and author of Kid Beowulf. I'm gonna take it over to you as soon as I find you. Alexis Fajardo has, did you disappear? I think he disappeared on me. Okay, maybe I'll just go to puppet version of Alexis Fajardo for now, because I think he literally disappeared. Hi, everybody. I'm Alexis Fajardo, and I write awesome books that everybody really likes. They're called Kid Beowulf, and I got a bunch of them. Where'd he go? He disappeared. All right, hey, when life gives you punches, you just gotta roll with them. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to speaker view, and you guys keep an eye out. Tell me when Alexis comes back, and we'll go back to him and we'll have him start to do some drawing stuff. In the meantime, maybe I can send him a text or something and we can figure out what in the world just happened. So, anybody? Any sign? Any sign of our buddies? Clyde is waving over there. Hi, Clyde. Okay, that was not part of the plan. Let's go to drawing cam. Are you guys ready to draw? Yeah, he's not on the chat. And he is not, he left. I think he got booted off. There might be something wrong with the internet. So, yeah, internet problems. I'm just gonna text him back. We're gonna say, no problem. Text when you're back. And what we're gonna do, here's what we're gonna do. Are you guys ready for this? Hey, Stella, could you do me a huge favor? Mm-hmm. Would you run upstairs and grab a copy of Kid Beowulf? Thank you. So we have a copy of Lex's book here. And so what we'll do while we're waiting for him is we'll do some Kid Beowulf warm-ups. Oh, Gio, that's really great. I'm sorry I'm having internet problems. Yeah, us too, Lex. That's a super bummer. We even worked this out beforehand just to make sure that everything would go right. True, but you can never plan for the unexpected. That was super deep. All right, well, we're gonna draw some of your cool drawings from your cool books while we wait for you to hopefully get back on. Hey, that's a good idea, Gio. All right. So because Lex is a cartoonist and he usually works with pencils and ink, what we're gonna do, check it out. This is the book that he made. This is his book. Do you guys see all these beautiful pages? Every single one of these drawings. Look at this rad dragon down here. Maybe you guys can see this. Maybe you can't. Yay, he's back. All right, I'm gonna unmute you over there, Lex. We're just doing a little show and tell.
Sorry about that.
No, no worries. I was getting ready to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You're live. Anyway, this is what we're going to be working on today.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me? Are you out there, Alexis Fajardo? Are you with me, man? Oh, yeah, you're there. I don't have visual contact yet, but you're unmuted. So this is the cool dragon that that Alexis has in his rad comic, and we've read it so many times that you can see the we kind of, the binding is cracked a little bit just because you can only turn pages so many times before they just kind of wear out. So this dragon is a recurring character in this lovely comic of his, and we're going to draw it today. And I'm not sure if I got him back and then I lost him again. So hopefully we'll get him back again. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hold out hope. I'm holding out hope that when, hopefully, if Lex can come back, he will lead us through how to draw his really cool dragon. So what we can do is we can do something in the style of Alexis Fajardo. So get your pencils ready, and we'll just start out with some cool warm-up stuff as we wait. Pencils? Great. All right, so Lex's style is really nice. He does these really sweet inked outlines. And so we'll start with, let's see if I can, he's got a really cool, his dragon has got like, we're gonna start with 2 lumps, okay? I'm gonna do a dragon in the style of Lex Fajardo. So I'm gonna start with a lump that goes up and another lump that comes out, okay? This is like the eyeball lump. And, ooh, how about that glare today? Better? That's a little better. And then this is gonna be like the mouth lump, okay? And we've got Fjord Phone is still on there. That's good. He's coming back. And then what we're gonna do is the nose is gonna be out here. This is gonna come out towards kind of like a point. So I'm gonna put a little point down here towards the end of this circle. This will be like the front of my dragon. This will be like the nostrils of my dragon up here. And then the eyes, Lex kind of draws the eyes back there on that top lump. So we're gonna go for that. Okay. And then he's got really cool horns on his dragon. I'm gonna let him do the horns on his dragon. I'm gonna just do, I'm probably gonna do like just some simple horns. I'm gonna put one out on this side, one out on this side, and it's gonna go just a simple little curl up. These, whenever I do this, it always ends up kind of looking like a cow. I usually have a cow. These are my cow horns. Lex, are you there?
I hope so. Yes.
I hope so too.
All right.
Can you see me trying to draw in your style here?
Yeah, it's looking really good.
I'm like, I think he does it kind of like this. All right, I'm gonna do a quick, we're gonna finish this up real quick. Here's the little beak. This is our little in the style of warm up. And I'm just gonna put, I'm not sure how you do the bottom, but I'm gonna kind of put the chin there and roll it back into the back of the head. This is gonna be where my mouth ends right here. And then I'm gonna put some eyeballs in there.
Okay.
Ah! Mine kind of looks like a basketball with cow horns. So Lex, I need some help. I need you to guide me through how to do it right.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna
set up my camera.
Cool.
Sorry about that technical glitch, guys.
No worries. we got to watch me draw a basketball with cow horns. That's always fun.
Okay, can you guys see my? Oh,
Yeah, I see it coming together over there. I see the Fjord phone coming alive. I'm trying to salvage my basketball here. It's kind of coming together. Here's the nose. See, when it was just the dots, it didn't quite look right. But I'm looking over at Lex's dragon here. That's Lex's dragon. He's got the style there. See all that? So smooth and simple, but so clean and cool. So I'm gonna put these nostrils on there. And then I think I need some eyelids. If I look again at what Lex is doing, he's got really cool eyelids. One of them is like a scar, like maybe it lost an eye over there.
It did.
Stella, who has read these several times, is telling me that yes, it did. So I'm going to put an eyelid on there, and then this one, just for the sake of tradition, just to make it a one-eyed dragon. You guys don't have to do this. You can just leave it or put an eyelid on this one. But I like the idea of turning it into a one-eyed dragon. But Lex's scar is really cool. I don't want to steal that idea. I'm going to put an eye patch. So now it's like a pirate. Now it's kind of turning into a pirate dragon. You guys,
a pirate basketball with cow horns.
A pirate basketball with cow horns. That's kind of where we're at here. Yep. I'm gonna put some scales on that neck. Maybe the neck just needs to be a little bit bigger. Logan, please don't do that. I really can't take it when you guys just blast into the chat with a bunch of gobbledygook. I'm trying to follow along with dealing with technical difficulties today. All right, come on, be a team. I think we got a pretty cool dragon going on here. Let's see if I can do. I think that there. If I erase some of these planning lines, it might help out too. And this is maybe just too circular. It is just too circular. That's not even a maybe. That is for sure too circular. So I need to get my eraser in here. That's not gonna work. That's where my basketball thing is happening. All right. Also here in the chin. I can't have it. Can't have it and have it still look like a dragon. So when we get up here, we're gonna go down. Guess who I just stole that from? Slam. Look at that. There's that nice curve right there.
Too much light. Getting to be too much light.
Is there too much light on there? Yeah, I get in the glare.
I know, it's turning yellow.
Nice. Amalia's got a Donald Duck with horns. I had the basketball. Here's
I
what's
have an actual pretty good grumpy dragon.
and here's Stella's drawing over here behind me. Hers actually does look like a grumpy dragon. But you did a whole body. You're way ahead of the game.
Well,
You're
so
way
I
ahead
can
of the
actually
game.
turn it into a grumpy dragon.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side here, and instead of having it just be that circle, let's give it some spikes. Give it some spikes. Yeah. All right. All right. Maybe like you can see a few of them coming out there on the other side of the head. All right. Cool. All right, man, I'll take that. Or, now that we kind of started drawing a pirate dragon, I'm pretty stoked about this, and I kind of want to put like a little pirate hat on it. What does a pirate hat look like? They kind of look like there's a little lump. I really don't know what a pirate hat looks like because I don't know many pirates, but I know that sometimes they look like this. There's like a little lump, a big lump, and then this looks like a baby bonnet. I think we've made a mistake here. Help! Help! Get away from the baby bonnet. That's not what we wanted. We wanted a pirate hat. Okay. Maybe it's just not meant to have a pirate hat, you guys. Sometimes when you try your ideas, they don't work out. All right, so here we go. Arr, I'm gonna put some little lines underneath the eye. Now it's getting to be a cranky dragon. There we go. Wow. You know what? Like starting with that ball in the back and then the ball in the front was like very, very helpful for creating more of a head shape instead of just that big triangle that we usually start with. Those big ice cream cones. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited about this approach. Hey, Lex, are you there? Can you hear me? You're unmuted on your Fjord phone there, I hope. Holler when you're feeling like you've got things going on. I'm trying to adapt to your style here. All right. Let's see. Wow. Those were really good angry lines. You see how those kind of came into that little center line I had? Now it's looking real mad. What made it so mad? I don't know what made this pirate dragon so angry. Oh, I know what made it so angry. I'm just gonna put this little half circle. Can you guys, anybody know what's happening right now?
Yes, I think I do. A toilet plunger.
Not a toilet plunger. Stella's guess was toilet plunger. She was wrong.
It looks like a toilet plunger.
It does look like a toilet plunger.
A knife. My guess
Okay.
is a knife.
Ooh, Emmy's guess is a knight. Nope. I'm trying to go with my pirate theme here. So now, you guys with me now?
That doesn't look like a toilet plunger anymore.
Okay, good.
I think I know what it is.
What do you think it is now?
I think it's a pirate captain.
Yeah, it's like the captain. I'm turning my pirate dragon into a Captain Hook dragon. That's what I'm doing. All right. Hey there, Lex. How you doing?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
This was the day that the internet decided not to work.
Of course it was. That's just how.
Isn't that
that's just
ideal?
how it goes.
Okay, I'm setting up my camera because every time, can you see my drawing board?
I can see your drawing board. They can't yet, but I'm taking a peek. I'm still working on my basketball head pirate dragon.
Okay. So I only have one camera because I think every time I try two, it's just too much for the internet to bear.
Perfect. We'll take one so we can see your drawing. All right.
Yeah. So you'll hear my disembodied voice, and then you'll see my disembodied hands trying to draw
Perfect.
a semi-bodied dragon.
It won't be a disembodied voice. Anytime you talk, I can wave my puppet version of you in front of my camera, and then it'll be like.
Oh, that's perfect. That's better looking anyway. So let me see. How does the camera?
All right. Well, let me bring my little pirate dragon with a hook hand to a close here, and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna jump off of my camera, and I'm gonna hand it over to Mr. Alexis Fajardo, and I'll let him say a few things about Kid Beowulf, and then we can do part 2 today, where he's actually going to show us how to draw a dragon in his style rather than me trying to do it. All right, Lex, take it away.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me. So sorry about all the technical difficulties.
No worries.
But I'm excited to be on Draw a Dragon. I'm excited to have a puppet speaking for me. And it's exciting to see all you guys there. So yeah, I'm a cartoonist and I do a book called Kid Beowulf. You're looking at my drawing board right now. We're in my studio. I live in Santa Rosa, and this is where I draw my comics. And some of you may be familiar with this book. Some of you may have never seen it before. And so I'll give you a little brief intro. Beowulf is actually an old story. And it's about a big Viking named Beowulf who went around slaying monsters. And it was a story that I fell in love with ages ago. And when I decided to make comics, I came back to that story and thought, oh, it'd be fun to adapt that. And so in my version, in Kid Beowulf, this is Beowulf. He is about 10 or 12 years old. And this is the rest of his family. All those monsters that Beowulf went around slaying in the original story are actually related to him. So for instance, there's a great big monster named Grendel. And in my universe, that's him. And he's Beowulf's twin brother. This is their mom. Her name is Gertrude. This face in the torch, that's their dad. These are their grandparents. This is their pet pig. His name is Hama. He's very important to the story. He's sort of like R2-D2. He travels along with Beowulf and Grendel on all their adventures. And then this dragon, the reason we're here, this big guy in the background is Beowulf and Grendel's great grandfather, and he is a dragon. And that was who I thought we would have fun trying to draw today. I can show you how I draw the dragon. Yeah, and then actually the inside of the book looks a little like this. It's a story about family and how they all get connected. And then by the end of the story, Beowulf, Grendel, and Hama the pig will travel to all these different countries in Europe and Asia. They'll go to France and Spain and Italy and Greece. And what's cool is all those places have their own heroes, their own adventures, and they meet all those heroes along the way. So these are just a couple of the stories. This one takes place in France, and then this story takes place in Spain. And then you see Beowulf and Grendel right there. So anyway, quick glimpse about what Kid Beowulf is all about, but we're here to draw a dragon. So I have a piece of Bristol board, which is sort of like a heavy piece of cardstock. And this is what I normally draw my drawings on. So if you guys are ready, if you have a clean piece of paper, I'm going to walk you guys through on how to draw the dragon. And we're going to use simple shapes because all of my drawings, and Gio, you probably have talked about this in your own classes, are built up from very basic shapes. And so we're going to start there. And the first thing we're going to do is draw an oval.
See if you can get, keep going darker if you can.
Okay.
Just the glare, we have to fight the glare when oh yeah, that's nice.
See that? Okay.
If you guys have any troubles with anything or any questions, throw them in the chat because I'm watching the chat and I'll holler them over to Lex while we're drawing.
Okay. So
Cool.
this is the first shape we're doing, and it can be kind of rough. You can make multiple lines. This is basically what we're doing here is called an underdrawing. We're getting all the roots of the shape of the character. So you have a big oval here, and then this is going to serve as the dragon's head. And then we're going to do a smaller oval just about 3/4 down in front of that big head. And this is going to serve as the dragon's snout. So he's going to be looking at us almost like a 3/4 view. And then we're going to have some placement for the eyes. Now there's some interesting info about his eyes. On this side, we're just going to do a little circle like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then on this side, we're going to kind of do a tall oval like that. Now we're going to darken all these lines. This is just to basically get the general shapes of where the character is and those different attributes. So now this is where I'm going to start to do some of the detail. On this front circle, as I said, this is his snout. We're going to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch to a pen so you'll see it a little better. So I'm going to use my handy marker. You guys can still use pencil if you want. This is just for the camera so we can see it a little better. I'm going to draw a curve over the top of that snout, just like that. And from that curve on either side, I'm going to draw these two little nodules. These are his nostrils, kind of his flared out nostrils. And then inside those, we're going to do the actual nostrils. And if you want, you could fill those in a little with some shading. So this is the front of the dragon. This is his snout. Now we're going to, from the right nostril, we're going to curve around, and we're gonna draw the bottom of his snout and basically follow that line that we drew at the bottom of that oval. And this is going to curve around, and it's going to form the side of his mouth. So whenever I draw this, I try to do it in one smooth stroke, and we'll see how I do. So there you go. There's the big snout.
Oh, nice.
And it curves out, and then we have this little curve here. He's kind of he's got the side of his mouth open, and that's actually where you can draw some pointy teeth. I'm going to add a line just down the center of his snout. It sort of just separates one side of the snout from the other. And now we're going to draw, so from the back of his snout, he's got 3 little nodules, if you can see right here. But he's got 1, 2, 3. These are kind of like, they're not really horns, but they're like calcified bumps. And so we're going to draw, we're going to draw the first one right here. And then as you go back, they get progressively a little bigger. So this one, the second one, is kind of tucked behind the first. And then the third kind of comes right between his two eyes. And below it, I'm just kind of drawing this little sketch there to indicate like the skin that's kind of grown over that nodule. So now from the second one, 1, 2, 3, from the second one, we're going to draw the back of his snout. So I'm going to curve another line, sort of like what we did for the bottom of the snout. I'm going to try and do this in one long arc. And you kind of do like that. So this is basically what I like to call his muzzle, the back of his cheek. You can see his teeth right there. And then we're going to do the same thing. And I think what I might do is just kind of, with my pencil, indicate where I want that to go. Again, this is sort of an underdrawing. And now I'm going to darken that in. So he comes out from this side, and that's his other cheek. And now since we have his other cheek, we can kind of add the other side of his mouth here. And he's kind of grimacing. The dragon is always, he's not a grumpy dragon, but he's lived a very long time. And he's stuck in his cave with his gold. And he doesn't like to be bothered. So I think we've kind of we've woken him up today. So here we go. So we've got his 2 cheeks. We've got the 3 nodules on his nose. We're going to add a little lip right below the snout here, just like that. And then he's got 2 teeth. You can make these bigger if you like. Now, one of these is chipped. He got into a fight one time with a guy named Shield, and he broke a tooth during that fight. So that's why this tooth is chipped. So everybody should have sort of the basic front part of the dragon. Now we're going to get into some detail. We're going to start to draw his eyes. Now, what's interesting about the dragon is, I don't know if you notice, but he has 2 eyes, but one of them is a normal eye, and the other one has been poked out. Now, there's a whole story about this eye here. I'm going to draw this eye. It's just a circle because, in fact, it is just a sapphire. His real eye was poked out ages ago by that same guy that took his tooth. His name was Shield, and he's got a little scar here. And so this eye is sort of a glass eye, but it's a sapphire. And then his other eye, his other big eye, is going to be on this side. And I don't know if you guys have seen Garfield before. the cat, but he's kind of got a similar eye, big oval cat-like eye for like Garfield. And now he's staring at us, and he does look a little grumpy. Yeah, I guess we did wake him up. I'm gonna fill in the top of his eyelid, and you can fill this in if you like. This kind of gives him a little shading there. And he's got, see these little, he's got little bags under his eyes. So yeah. Now from either side of his eyes, we're gonna add in his ears, and they kind of start at the back of that very first circle that we started. I'm gonna do a quick little underdrawing. I kind of describe these as like cow's ears. So if you know a cow, what their ears look like, that's kind of the shape. So there's one. And here's the other. And now comes the tricky part, because the dragon has, as all dragons do, most dragons do, it's got these two big horns. So I'm going to do another, what I call an underdrawing, so I can get the shape of those horns. Now, here's a pro tip. If you guys know Princess Leia, you know, she's got those big hair buns. That's kind of what you want to mimic when you draw these horns. It's kind of got Princess Leia hair a little bit, but they're in the shape of horns. Kind of crazy. So here's a really rough outline shape of what those horns will look like. And now I'm gonna, and the thing is, the dragon is so old, he's thousands of years old. And his horns are they're really old and gnarly, and they've twisted around his head into this shape. And so that's what we're going to draw now. So the base of the horn is kind of still part of his skull. So he's got so this is basically the skin that's kind of grown up from his head that then connects to the horns. And then when we draw the horns, you just kind of like curve around and they kind of like dip behind his cheeks there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the back of those horns, and we're going to just kind of try and like connect the back of the head to the front of that muzzle. And then what we do is we connect this part of the head with this part of the head with just a little dip.
This is awesome. Like, I'm having so much fun drawing your dragon.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna kind of speak for everybody there, but this is just me. Also, there's some good questions there too. So if you feel like you've got a good
yes,
break,
feel free to ask me any questions.
Aiden wanted to know when book 4 was coming out.
Oh.
Bye.
So do we actually, but
Yeah.
Aiden, first one to ask.
That is a great question. And I'm excited to answer that question. The fourth book, for those of you guys who have read the series, so the first book, which I showed you before, is the origin story. This one takes place in Scandinavia. So if we looked at the map, it's way up here. If you're familiar with Sweden and Denmark, that's where the first book takes place. The second book takes place in France. That's this one right here. It's based on an old story called The Song of Roland. Lots of action, adventure, swashbuckling. Book 3 takes place in Spain. So here's a big old map of Spain. And we've basically moved from Sweden into France into Spain. Now, if we looked at the map, you can kind of see there's some other countries labeled there. There's Britain, there's Africa, there's Italy, there's Greece, there's Germany. So at the end of book 3, Beowulf, Grendel, and Hama are taking this long road at the base of France, and they're making their way into Italy. So that's what book 4 takes them. And this is actually a little preview of that.
Yes.
And if you guys know anything about Roman mythology, you might be familiar with this other pair of twins named Romulus and Remus. So that's who Beowulf and Grendel are going to meet. And they're going to meet this huge, their mother, she's a dire wolf. And this is kind of a quick glimpse into that story. And this is a preview comic that I did. And I have about basically 30 pages. These are actually some pages that I've been working on. This is the climax of the book. See, it says page 178. I've got like 20 pages left because it's 200 pages. So I'm in the midst of what we call inking and penciling the story. So Aiden, I'm very close to finishing the story. I'll probably get all of that artwork done maybe in the next couple of weeks if I'm lucky. And then I have to just finish publishing it like this and then get it to you guys. So that takes a lot of time because I have to color it, I have to letter it, and the coloring, the lettering I do in the computer. And then I have to make sure all the spelling is right. And then I have to figure out how to put it into this format for a book. But it's coming along. And I'm very excited about the story. I think it's pretty good.
That is amazing. That's so much work. It's just awesome that you do it and that this is the 4th time that you've done it.
Yeah, well, as you know, as everybody knows who's drawing, like drawing takes a lot of work. And then when you're writing a story and you have all these different characters, yeah, it just takes a fair amount of time, but it's so much fun. You guys, I know you guys have so much fun when you're drawing a dragon every day. And for me, I have so much fun coming out to my studio and figuring out where Beowulf and Grendel are going to go next. So what I'm doing now on the dragon is so he's pretty big. I've already run out of paper. So we're just kind of doing a portrait of the dragon. And we're going to draw his neck.
Hey Lex, since you just ran out of room, I need to play something because you just got to the extreme edge of the page. Extreme edge of the page. So just had to throw that in there.
That is incredible. I love it. So yeah, he's got a really long neck and torso. And I don't know if you guys see this. I've done a quick underdrawing of that. So with my pen, so you guys can see it a little better, I'll fill in. And I don't know how many of your dragons, Geo, have wings, but this dragon has some wings, and they kind of come out. What we're going to do here is just kind of indicate where they come out. It's sort of like at his shoulder blades. So he's got this is just we're going to see part of his folded wing here.
Hey, like maybe if you could move the drawing just up a little bit. So yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You guys see it? Okay. So I'm going to draw just the back of his neck. The other interesting feature about the dragon is because he's so old, he has sort of like these scales. That's what I'm drawing right here. And they kind of fold into each other as they go down. And these cover his entire body. So here is kind of the beginning of his shoulder blade. And he's got like this little thorn that comes up and out. And then from that, that's where what I'm going to draw here is this nice big curve. This is going to basically be the back of his wing. And then we're going to draw another curve right here. Serious, kind of the wing. Give you an idea. See right here. This is how they're really big, huge bat-like wings. And this is what it would look like when it's folded up.
Perfect.
Now there are two. We could see, like, since his back is sort of turned to us, but we could have the other wing kind of come out this way. And we can see more of that. So let's see.
Ooh.
And then he's got like these little veins. Basically, you know how bats have that structure of the.
Indeed.
in the wing. That's kind of what that is. So since I did run out of the page, this is as far as we get with the dragon. I can draw his whole body if folks are interested. But one of the things, I forgot. So my dragon speaks, and he has a phrase that he says a lot whenever he's surprised or excited or confused about something. He will say this phrase. He says, Odin's eye. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Odin is, but he is from Norse mythology. He's sort of the king of the gods. And the dragon has a gravelly voice. So when you do the word balloon, it'll be kind of shaky like this. So Odin is the king of the gods, and he had one eye, sort of like our dragon here. And there's the story of Odin was that he wanted the gift of foresight, so he could sort of see into the future. And to get that gift from the primal magical powers that be, he had to give up one of his eyes. So in a nod to that story, for my dragon, when he lost his eye and he took that sapphire and he plucked it into his head, he also sort of has that shadowy gift of foresight. The only problem is, unlike Odin, who could see the future and see it clearly, the dragon, he can only kind of see it vaguely. So sometimes that leads to mistakes when he thinks he knows what's going to happen, but it doesn't. Now the dragon is also old, so we're going to add these old little marks to the top of his brow. And that's kind of what the dragon looks like from the top, from the neck up.
We have a request if you could just move that paper up a little bit so that we can see all the way to the bottom one time of the page.
You guys see it there?
Yeah, thank you. There was another request. If I don't know, we have about 15 minutes. If we could do a quick version, someone wanted to try and draw a Beowulf, the 10 to 12-year-old Beowulf.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, right on.
Let me know when people are ready for that, and I'll find a fresh piece of paper.
I'm gonna go gallery view. Thumbs up if you guys are ready to try something new. Thumbs down if you need more time on the dragon. Real quick. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. We are all systems go here at Draw Dragon.
Okay.
Thumbs up everywhere. Nothing but thumbs up.
All right, so the dragon will say goodbye.
Odin's eye.
And got another piece of paper. And we will do, so the request was for Beowulf, correct?
Yes.
All right. Here's a glimpse of Beowulf again. We're going to draw him in his standard kind of, the first time we meet him, he's got kind of this torn shirt and leggings. the interesting thing about Beowulf is he grows up an orphan, and he has no idea in this story that he is related to any of these people. So part of this story is his journey discovering that his twin brother happens to be a monster, and that his mother happens to be also a monster. They're sort of half dragon, half human. You can see elements from the dragon in their faces, but then also their body is sort of like that of a human. So Beowulf, part of his self-discovery is that he is also connected to all these folks. So that's the version of Beowulf we're going to draw. And like the dragon, we're going to do an underdrawing. So we kind of see just the basic shapes of how Beowulf looks. So I'm going to start with his head. And that is basically a circle. You guys see that okay?
I can see it okay.
Okay, great. So whenever I draw heads, I do this thing where I do two lines intersecting, one that is intersecting from the top of the head to the bottom of the head, like this. Can you guys see that? And then this other line that kind of intersects from the middle of the head. This is basically telling me where his nose is going to be and then where his eyes are going to be. So for instance, if you want to draw a character who's going to be looking up, you can draw your quick head, and then you draw these two lines, and it kind of gives you an idea of, oh, they're going to be looking up. If you want a character who's looking down, you can draw your head, that one line for the center of the, and then they're going to be looking down. So right here, Beowulf is going to be looking straight kind of at us. This is what we call like a 3/4 view. So that's just like a little pro tip. Now the next thing we're going to do is draw Beowulf's body. And he's got kind of like a kidney bean shaped body. And again, this is really rough, and it's just kind of getting those basic shapes for Beowulf. On either side of that top of that kidney bean, we're going to draw two circles. These are going to be his shoulders. And then a little stick, I guess you just call that just a little line there, because this is his shoulder, and it goes out, that's his bicep, and then this is going to be his elbow, and then we come down to the forearm, and this is going to be his hand. So basically his hand is on his hip, sort of like arms akimbo. And then on his other shoulder, he's going to have one arm raised, because he's going to be saying kind of hello to us. So there's his shoulder. This is going to be where his elbow is, and then his forearm, and then this is going to be his hand. Now we're going to draw the bottom of his body. This is going to be his waist. And then, like you did for his arms, this is going to be his thigh. And then this is his kneecap. And then he's got big, kind of floppy feet. So here's his other kneecap. And then there's his leg. So you can kind of see this is the basic structure of our character. And this is what I do for all my drawings. For instance, this is a page, I haven't inked it yet, but if you can kind of see through these big shapes of the wolf, you'll see these, and then all these other characters, you'll see those round shapes, those circles, those lines connecting it. Basically, when you're drawing, you kind of want to build up your character from the ground up. And that's kind of what we've done with Beowulf here. So now that I have the structure, I know where his head is, where his neck is, his body, his legs, and I'm going to move to the ink so you guys can see it a little better and follow. You can follow along. Actually, first I'll sketch in his nose and stuff so we get it right. So right at the at that meeting point of those two lines on his head, we're going to draw just a little circle. And then he's got his two little eyes on either side of that. And I'll darken this all in. I just want to get the basic look. At the back of that line there that we first drew that goes across, that's where his ear starts. He's got big floppy ears, kind of like monkey ears. And now from this side, we're gonna curve in just a little bit, because this is gonna be his brow. And then sort of like we do with the dragon with that one swoop of his snout, we're gonna draw his Beowulf's cheek. So we're gonna come down to his chin and then underside, and we meet right at the base of that ear. Hopefully these lines are dark enough.
I think when you go over it with ink, we'll be able to really follow along with that.
And he's going to be smiling. So the next thing when I have his face all there, the next tricky part is his hair. And there's no way for me to describe how to draw his hair because I never quite know myself. He's just got lots of cowlicks, and I can only kind of really do it quickly. So I'm going to darken this in so you guys can see how he's coming together. So I'm going to start with his nose. There's his nose, and he's got two eyes on either side. Now you'll notice a lot of different cartoonists draw eyes differently, and a lot of that comes from their early influences. And one of my influences was comic strips. And if you look at like characters like Snoopy or Charlie Brown or Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, you'll notice they have like two little beady eyes. That's kind of where my eye structure influence came from. Right above his eyes are his eyebrows. And now we can fill in his back ear. And now I'm going to do the hair. So he's got a little bit of a sideburn there, but all of his hair generally comes to points. And there's a nice kind of big cowlick over. And then this is the back of his hair, another cowlick. And now I'm going to fill in, draw in the side of his cheek. And his mouth. So there's Beowulf, his head. Now we have to actually give him the rest of his body. So I'm going to, from there, go to his neck. This is just two little lines. He's got a thin neck. And we'll do a quick underdrawing for his shirt. And I'll fill this in for you guys. His shirt is sort of torn, so that's what that kind of indicates there. Growing up as an orphan, he did not have access to the finer things in Daneland. So here's his arm, and then right here is his joint where the top of his arm is going to meet his forearm. And again, it's going to be resting on his hip. And so his wrist is kind of just back a little, resting on his hip. And then we draw in his fingers. Now, all the characters in the Kid Beowulf universe have 4 fingers. That's another kind of standard comic cartoon trope. If you look at like Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck, a lot of them have 4 fingers. And that's why I have a 4-fingered universe. I don't know why, but there it is. Now we're going to draw his other arm. And this one is raised. because he's going to be saying hello to us. And again, there's the connection of the forearm to the top of the arm, the bicep and such. And there is 4 fingers. To indicate that he's kind of like waving, we could do like little dash lines like that. So you can kind of see he's kind of coming together. Now we're going to draw the rest of his shirt. And again, the base of that shirt is also kind of torn. And now we're going to draw the top of his pants. So you can kind of see a little of his tummy under that shirt if you want. And so now I'm going to fill in part of his thighs, just so I have a better sense of where they are. And when I draw my knees, for whatever reason, I kind of do this little fold at the kneecap. I don't know where that started, where that came from. And then here's the back of his thigh. And then his calf is going to just start right behind the back thigh. And then it curves out. This is going to be his ankle right there. We're going to do that for his other. And Beowulf he's got sandals. And they kind of, actually, I'm sorry, they're not really sandals, but they're, I guess leggings is what you call them. And these right here are kind of like the leather straps that go around kind of just his ankles and the base of his foot. And now we're going to draw his foot. And he's got big, kind of floppy feet. He's always tripping over his feet. And so there's Beowulf, and we're going to add, because you got to be standing on something. This is quick cartoon grass right there. See those little sketches there of grass? And if you want, you could fill in Beowulf's shirt black. And this actually helps him pop off the page a little bit. If you see a character with a black shirt or a dark shirt, or go the other way, a yellow shirt like Charlie Brown, your eye will go to that character and it kind of pops off the page. Fill in his shirt. If you wanted to color in the rest of Beowulf, he's got orange hair, and his pants are blue, and his feet leggings are brown. You could also, if you wanted, you could color his shirt gray.
Yeah.
Now, so the dragon had his famous phrase, Odin's eye. Beowulf has a phrase of his own. And that he says this whenever he gets excited about something. And that is, Holy Loki. Now, Loki is another god, a Norse god. He is the god of mischief, Loki. And that's what Beowulf says. Loki is also the name of a deer dog I had once. So whenever I write Holy Loki, it's like Beowulf is excited. but it's also a nod to my favorite dog. So that's a little pro insider tip. So yeah, there's Holy Loki, there's Odin's Eye, there are other phrases in the book. Sometimes when Beowulf gets frustrated, he'll say Mjolnir. That's a weird word. Mjolnir. And if there are any fans of Thor, you'll know that Mjolnir was the name of his hammer. So that's another phrase that they'll sometimes say.
Lex, that was super awesome. We are just at 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna just hand it over to you. And if there's any more things where can we get, if most of us are Sonoma County, but if you can give advice for people in Sonoma County and abroad, if they wanted to check out Kid Beowulf and get a book, how can we do it?
There are lots of different ways. So for those of you guys in Sonoma County, there's that great, I'm gonna here are the books that are available right now. 1, 2, and 3. Copperfield's Books is a great spot to get them. And actually sometimes what I'll do is I'll sneak into the doors and I'll sign the books. So there might be some autographed copies there lurking about. They're actually really cool about that. They let me draw in the books. So Copperfield's is a good place. Brian's Comics, if you guys are in Petaluma, which is a great comic book shop. I know that he has some signed copies of the books. And you could also find them online if you shop at Amazon, or you could go directly to my website and order them there. I'm going to write it down here. It's www.kidbeowulf.com. KIDBEOWULF. And you can find, and I have all the books there, and I have that preview of book 4, which I was talking about earlier. And I'm happy to send books out and sign them for folks. You can see sketches and other live art. So, and if you're on Instagram and you want to see me post stuff like this, like pages in progress, as I near the completion of book 4. Again, these are some sneak peeks here, guys. I've not shown these to anybody.
I love it.
So there's Beowulf running. In book 4, he gets some armor. Because he starts to fight in these gladiator games, so he needs some fancy armor. Anyway, you could go to a place like Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Lex Fajardo Art. That's an @ so that's a spot too.
If anybody has any questions, they can check in with me either on our Facebook page or with my email, and I'll be happy to point anybody in the right direction.
Yes, of course, yeah. But I really, let's bring back the dragon, since it's a draw dragon. So we get one more glimpse of the dragon. But this was really fun. I apologize again for all the internet squabbles, but I'm glad that we got it going, and I hope some folks had some fun drawing. And if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer them before we sign off.
Cool. Let me do this. Let me do a little post-show credit fade out, and then I'm going to end the live stream, and then everybody that drew, I would love to see what you guys drew. So let's do our traditional post-stream show and tell, and then if you guys have questions, we can do the questions then too. Deal. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to spotlight over here, and we're going to play our theme out. And I'm going to say, oh my goodness. Wow, look it's Kid Beowulf. He's right here. And it's Lex. Lex, thanks so much for joining us today. That was super awesome, and I totally love drawing everything that you guided us through drawing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gio. It was a lot of fun.
It was so fun. Technical difficulties, whatever. I'll weather the storms to get to fun drawing stuff like that. Thanks everybody for drawing with us. Check out Lex's art. That's at Lex Fajardo Art on Instagram. You can find them in bookstores everywhere. Get those books. They're so good. And if you guys want to draw dragons, well, let's draw dragons tomorrow morning. That will be awesome. Signing off of the live stream.